Real people, real opinions, real talk radio. The multi-award winning Niall Boylan Show.
Ireland's classic hits.
Modular homes, what exactly are they? The short answer is they're a type of prefabricated home. And a fabricated home is a home that's built from components made in advance in a factory and just delivered to a site and then put together. Now, if you've seen them, by the way, that kind of just doesn't do them justice. You know what I mean? It just doesn't do them any justice whatsoever. Because they're not bad looking. They're essentially like, you know those really nice trailers, the Winnebagos? They're like them without the wheels, I suppose, really, because they are nice. Some of them are luxurious. They've got nice kitchens and cookers and plumbing and bedrooms, usually two bedroom, whatever. And you know, they got a front space, which is kind of kitchen come living room. They're nice. But they're not a house. Anyway, today, the Director General of the Engineers Ireland, David Owens, said that more modular homes need to be constructed in order to address the housing shortage crisis. And you heard on the news, there are no affordable homes in Ireland. According to him, this would not only alleviate pressure on the housing market, but also improve sustainability in construction. This is because, he says, fewer deliveries of materials are often, because, of course, it's pre-made. And the housing figures he cited do not bode well for the future. The number of homes that must be delivered to meet the current demand is 55,000 to 74,000 per year. That is never going to happen. It's roughly twice the government's target, which they're not going to reach, by the way, of 33,000. And do you remember the target that the Labour Party said, if you vote for us, we'll build 1 million homes a year? Well, you might as well say 10 million, because you're never going to build 1 million homes. The problem is not the bricks and mortar, the wood and everything else for the houses. The problem is getting people to put it all together. There isn't enough people, because people in construction would make more money in the private sector. Anyway, he says the discrepancy between targets and actual need is in part due to the long period of population growth exceeding official projections. And of course, the reason for that, you all don't have to be geniuses to work out. Ireland's population has increased over the last year. So we are all finally waking up to the fact that the current situation is unworkable. And now an expert is advising us that we throw up some more pre-packed homes and throw them up quickly. I jest. But seriously, I want to know what you think of this idea. Is this the solution? Would you be happy with it? Would you live in a modular home? Maybe you do. I don't know. Get in touch. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear what it's like. By the way, somebody had texted already and said they fall apart after 10 years. No, they don't. They last 30 to 40 years, I believe. Even more. Or maybe you think it's short-sighted. Can a modular home really be a forever home? You know, and don't we need to put our attention into building proper houses? What do you think? Are modular homes the solution to the housing crisis? Because they can build them quick, they just need land to put them on. A few bricks to put them up onto. The number is 087 188 0008. You can WhatsApp right now if you want to. James, hi, how are you?
Good evening, mate. How are you?
Good. James, are modular homes the solution?
Well, the problem with modular homes is you need planning permission for them.
Well,
if you've got a mobile home, you can just put them up and you can leave them there.
Well, you've heard the government already. They've a plan for that too. I mean, when it comes to modular homes, they can fast-track the planning permission. Darragh O'Brien has said all this already. They'll fast-track planning permission to get these things up.
What's the difference between a mobile home and a modular home?
But there's not much difference apart from the wheels.
You can't get a puncture in a modular home.
Yeah, I know. That's the only difference is the wheels. Yeah, I know. But I've seen them, James. James, have you seen them? They're nice.
I have. Yeah, they have them schools here in Clare. I saw some in Clare there about 40 years ago. They had them. They're still there.
Oh yeah, they do last if they're looked after.
So, yeah. They're expensive.
Well, they're not expensive as a house.
No, they're not cheap, like. Not cheap.
No, a modular home. There's a Swedish company. I remember looking at them a while ago. If you were interested in, say, buying a holiday home for Ireland, and a modular home is roughly, for a nice one, you're looking at about 80 to 100,000.
Yeah. They're back in the day about 40 years ago. They're for £4,000 to build them.
Yeah.
In a school now in Clare, they had one.
Yeah, no, when I say 80 to 100, that's fitted, fully fitted, plumbed, electricity in, kitchen in, the whole lot. Is about $100,000 tops.
Yeah.
But then you do need the land to put them on. But the government have loads of land all over the country.
course I have, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm doing well. If I can get a modular home myself, I'm doing well because at the moment now, my father died last month. And
I'm sorry to
I'm
hear
trying
that,
to get
by
rid
the
of
way.
my kettle here. I'm trying to get rid of my kettle here at home on the farm, and I can't get a herd number in my own name. But it takes time to get it through. And winter coming now, I have enough feeding for my kettle.
All right.
And I'm
How
going
many,
through a
how
crisis
many
here at the
cattle?
moment,
How many cattle have you got?
I have 22 kettles in total. I went to my welfare last night about to see if they come and take away the kettle.
All right. Okay. And did your dad leave you some the cattle when he died?
He did, yeah. He left me there's 100 acres in total in Glenend. And
Right.
I'm not sure there before one time about I took to Ukraine there. I went dating tour to Ukraine there last 2 years ago. I was on the radio about it. But that was cancelled because of the war in Ukraine. And then I had a group going to Israel at Christmas. And they were cancelled too because of the war in Israel. But they cancelled that as well.
Oh, yeah. So when the next time it comes around, it'll be cancelled again because of a war somewhere else. By the way, James, what part of the country are you in?
In Scariff and County Clare.
And in County Clare, if you don't mind me asking you, you don't have to tell me about your land, but how much is an acre of land worth?
About 15,000 an acre.
How much? 3,000?
I can't access funds in the bank because my father's account is frozen.
Oh, well, of course, yeah, it'd be in probate. Yeah.
Probate, yeah.
Yeah. You have to. What is it? 6 months? You have to wait.
3 to 6 months.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, just in case there's anybody else out there thinks they own some of it. Yeah, that's unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's what happens, James.
Well,
it goes into probate.
The problem is, I had to feed kettle nuts for the winter, and
how are you going to feed them if you haven't got the money?
Well, that's the problem. I was getting credit at the local creamery. They stopped giving me credit now at the moment to reach the limit.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah. Oh, so they're dairy cattle. Yeah, okay.
No, they're not dairy cattle. They're dry stock.
Oh, okay. When you mentioned the local creamery, I thought you were providing milk. Yeah.
Creamery. Well, they carry agri is the local.
Right, okay. I know, and this time of the year it gets difficult because, of course, during the summer they just sit there eating the grass, but this time of the year they have to come in. Yeah. The grass is not grown. That's the problem. Well, listen, James, we could talk about farming all night. It's a really interesting conversation for farmers, but we got to stick to what we're talking about, unfortunately, at the moment, which is modular homes. Do you think it's a suitable plan rather than building houses because we can build them quicker?
Well, you can build them fast. About a week to build a modular home. In a week. You do it in a week.
Yeah. Well, you can build a lot of homes very quickly. Thank you, James, for that. Let me just go to Joe. Joe, hi, how are you?
Well, how are you?
Good. Joe, modular homes, are they the answer?
Yes, look, I have a couple of things I want to hit off if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
First thing is modular homes, yes, 100%. I've built hundreds of them in Australia. Australia's climate, it's the opposite to us. It's very warm.
Yeah.
So these are built to keep the heat out. So to keep the heat out, to keep the cold out.
Yep.
Storm season, typhoons, we'll never get the likes of it. And these houses stand up.
Yeah, people have this opinion of them that they're only temporary, but they're not. They're quite good. They last a long time.
If they do the new type steel internal frame, clad the outside, internal is the same as a finished house inside. You won't know the difference when you walk in the front door.
No, I've seen the ones down in Mahon and Cork, and they actually look lovely.
Brilliant, perfect, and they're a very quick fix, very very quick.
And they can how long does it take to turn them around?
I worked for a company in Australia. I did all the bases, so the concrete slabs. We do 10 slabs a week, and the following week the houses will be up.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so 2 weeks, 10 houses, easy.
Whereas with your standard 3-bed bricked house,
they're throwing houses up at the minute. Like they're building houses too quick here in conventional methods.
Yeah, well, that's always a problem too, isn't it? Yeah.
Too fast.
Yeah.
They're not. They'll fall down before modular, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, if we were living in a country where we got hurricanes, I'd be concerned, but we don't. So
we'd be in big trouble. Yeah.
Yeah.
Second thing I wanted to touch off was the Ukrainians and the ruling that they made.
Oh, this is the 90-day ruling. Yeah.
I hope it's for everybody coming here seeking help. It's not just singling out the Ukrainians, is it?
Well, the thing about it is, if you're seeking international protection, you don't get the dole.
Okay.
So you're not getting the Ukrainians currently at the moment coming to Ireland get twice as much money as any other country has given them.
I didn't read into that yet. But one thing I did read into last Monday week there was a motion in the Oireachtas by the Minister for Children, and he was very concerned about direct provision children having to live in hotel rooms for 4 months.
Yeah.
Okay?
As that sounds concerning, yeah.
Yeah, very concerning. My partner is Irish. Her eldest son was 2 in October. She's went into emergency accommodation in South Dublin, into a single person's room while she was pregnant on him. She's still in that room.
Mm.
Okay, it's a single person's room. She's not there with one, she's there with 2 children now. She's there with a
I
2-year-old
know.
and a 10-year-old.
And you know what? I'm in 100% agreement with you, Joe. We had this situation before the war in Ukraine. And
Correct.
I would have been on the radio saying it was disgraceful that 12,000 or 10,000 people at the time in temporary accommodation were living in hotels with children.
Absolutely.
And the answer kind of was, well, what are you expecting us to do? We can't build houses. But all of a sudden, when we have refugees and Ukrainians coming in, it becomes a big problem.
And all these ideas.
Yeah,
are
I know.
Let's spend 100 million on temporary housing for non-Irish, because that's really what it's fucking is.
And by the way, I don't disagree with supporting people. If people need our support, if they're running from war or fleeing war, I don't disagree with supporting people. But you also have to get your ducks in a row in your own country first.
Yeah, I'm a very charitable person. Yeah. But look, I'm a little bit old-fashioned. Look after your own. When your own are looked after, then give your help to whoever you can.
But that always should be any government's priority, and give as much help as you can to others once you have your own house in order. That should be the way it is all the time. But look, that's not what's happening. Unfortunately, what's happening is quite reckless. You know,
most governments in the world do run their countries like that. Look after their own. Whatever's left, then come on, we'll help you if we can.
Absolutely.
Not Ireland. Like the Irish are coming last.
That's the reason they mentioned this today, this new presentation, because they can't keep doing what they're doing, which is supporting people for some infinite amount of time, because that would be ridiculous. But here's the thing, as I said earlier on the show, many people suggested this last year, that there should be a time limit of, say, 3 to 6 months, which they're doing in the UK. And anybody who even suggested that was a right-wing racist. Now the government is suggesting it. So what does that make them?
But they're not very. The government is not very brainy, is it?
No, they're not very bright.
You think of this, okay? They're telling these people, come on, we're going to help you. After 90 days, you have to stand on your own 2 feet.
Yeah.
The next news headline is, there's not one fucking house available to be rented. This is what I was talking about today, and I was talking to Pater Tobian from Aintu today, and we were discussing this, and I said, well, if the government's plan is in 90 days you have to fend for yourself, and just like anybody else, if you can't afford it, you go and get your HAP, or you go on the housing list, or whatever it is, right? But the thing about it is, they're in accommodation at the moment, so in 90 days, are we going to chuck them out on the street? Where there's nowhere for them to go anyway. So what difference is it going to make? You're just moving them from one department to another. It's just making the responsibility. But they won't. They're going into government. They're going into government-owned houses. I see it every day of the week. They're coming into the country. 4 months later, they're in a house. My partner's in her house 2.5 in her
temporary accommodation.
Temporary accommodation, 2.5 years. Okay,
like that's ridiculous.
If you gave her a fucking box.
Joe, can I ask you a question? And I'm not going to pry into your private life here, and I don't want to disrespect you. But you have to say to me 3 times, it's your partner. Is it your child?
Her son is not my child.
Okay.
The second child is mine. So we have a daughter together.
Okay. And what role? And again, I'm not having a pop in case you think I am. I'm not judging you. But I know you're very concerned about the fact that she's in temporary accommodation. Can you not help her get out of that situation?
Can I not help her? Okay, so I'm just finished a divorce. So separation with my wife.
Okay.
Which has left me financially fucking broke, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I have my own house.
A lot of people are in the same boat, have been through that, Joe. Yeah.
Right. I have my own house. It's down the country. It's in the middle of nowhere. Okay. My partner doesn't drive. It's not possible for her to live in my house without driving. Now we're doing our best to get her driving. But
I know. It's a difficult situation. Look, I didn't want to pry into your personal life. I was just curious. But I need to get back to the modular homes anyway. But I think your partner would be happy with a modular home.
If you gave her a box with a key and her own door, she would be absolutely delighted.
Okay, stay there for a second. Let me go to Eileen. Eileen, you're on Ireland's Classic Hits Radio. How you doing, Eileen?
Hi, no, good, thank you.
Good. I mean, there you go. Joe has built modular homes when he was in Australia. Can't think of anything better.
Well, they sound good to me. I'm in a position now. I have my own land, and I have the utilities and everything on it.
Yeah.
But I'm now. Everything didn't go right for me to build, so I'm basically living in a hay bale shed, and the council have told me that I couldn't stay in it But I told them I had nowhere else to go. So then they tried to house me in, they did offer me one place, but it was a known drug dealer's house in a known very bad area. And I have 2 autistic children, also another boy with special needs. So I told them that area wasn't suitable for us, that it would put more danger on.
Yeah.
Could they even build me a modular home, and I would pay them back for it, or a mobile or anything until I could sort myself out. But they said they couldn't do it because my land has run out of planning permission, but that would be easily sorted, seems like, the utilities, you know. And then a house actually came available at the top of my road, perfect, and they said they can't afford to do it up.
And when you say you're living in a hay bale shed, is it literally a hay bale shed,
Yeah.
or is it converted into a house of some description?
No, it's literally, it's like a shed.
And where do you cook, and where do you go to the bathroom? And
In it, I cook in it. I have a gas cooker, and my heating is a stove fire. You know, the log fire.
And is there beds for the kids?
Yeah, there's beds. We made beds. We put beds into it. We tried to make it as best like a home as we could.
Sounds like
we
a
don't
crib.
have any other options.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It sounds more like a crib.
My older
Yeah.
children.
Yeah.
Yeah, my older children now, they're all working in Galway and living in Galway. Now, they're paying extortionate rents. My daughter, my oldest autistic daughter, was just got in a room a few months ago, and now she was told she has to move out. And she has so many special needs, and this is really causing her a lot of problems.
And when they offered you the house that you said was the former drug dealer's house, right?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, okay. What was wrong with that house, apart from the fact that it was a former drug dealer's house? The drug dealer wasn't living there anymore, so I assume. What was wrong with the
Well,
house?
the thing is, it's a very, very rough area. Now, I've already lived in a rough area, and the reason I end up buying land and...
But okay, and I get that, but when you say it was a rough area, okay, it was an area with some social problems in it, okay? Unfortunately, you know, when you're in a situation, when you're in need and you want a home for your children, I suppose you got to take the good with the bad every now and again. You know what I mean? Until you can get something better.
Well, see, yeah, but now this is better than living in that kind of danger, because although it's very uncomfortable, my children are safe. I've lived in that situation before, and like my 2 daughters were attacked. You know, I couldn't live with putting my children in that kind of danger again, and it would definitely happen, because you know, when the kids see some of the children from that rough area go to my children's school and they're bullies. So if my child lived in that area, I just couldn't do it. They've already been through it again. You know, like my whole household, I have an autoimmune disease. I'm sick all the time. I have these children with all these special needs. I was trying to give them a better life, and things just went the way they appear. Now, I haven't given up, but, you know...
So what you're saying to me, it would be ideal if the government would throw a modular home on the land that you have there.
Yeah, and I asked them to do that as soon as I heard what they were doing for the Ukrainians, which I thought was lovely. That's good how these...
And do you own the land there?
I do.
And is there much land?
3 acres.
Okay. And is that land worth money? Is it worth good money?
Not really.
Okay, wouldn't be worth selling and buying a house, no?
You wouldn't have enough to buy a house.
Oh, okay.
Most of it's bogland at the back.
Oh, okay. I was just curious. Yeah,
you know what I mean? So there's only, I'd say there's up the top I could build, but not down the bottom at all.
Yeah.
You know, it's not, I got it cheap, and I got to build my own little log or timber framed house, and excuse me, my circumstances just haven't allowed for that yet.
Yeah. Okay. Well, look,
But,
you're in a tough situation. There's no doubt about that. So you'd be happy. You'd be very, very happy if they just threw a modular home on the land, or let you build a modular home on the land.
Yeah, and you know, I wanted it, like, if they helped me, I offered to pay for it myself. You know, it's not as if I was asking. I didn't want to go to the council and like say, I don't want to live here then. So I'm trying to make a good future for my children, because I want it better. And
Well, I don't know. I mean, they're expensive enough that to buy a modular home without the land is probably about $100,000 all in. So you mightn't have that kind of money. You know what I mean? That'll be a lot of money for you.
No, I definitely don't.
No.
I don't. You know, that's why I asked the council if they could help me. That I would definitely. I wasn't looking for any handouts or anything like that. You know, we were willing to live in this.
Yeah.
But I didn't think it was going to be for as long. I thought it'd be short term.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, it didn't turn out like that.
Okay.
But modular homes, I think, would be great for people.
Yeah. I think for some people they would. It would certainly be better than the situation they might be currently in, like yourself at the moment, which is not a good situation for you and your kids. Stay there, Eileen. Let me go to John as well. John, hi. How are you?
Good night, Niall. How are you keeping?
Good. John, what do you think of this modular home idea?
Well, I've been involved in facilities and manufacturing and building all my life. And I've been kind of watching the modular home type of thing. I know people that have got them and that. But I just want to say, we can't think outside the box. Modular homes could be the best thing a person could ever have. We think they're kind of like mobile homes or everything. They're just homes they're houses that are built, instead of building them on site on a concrete block, they're built in a factory on an assembly line.
That's right, yeah.
So you have an assembly line and you have a few lads built in one wall and a few lads, and they're very well designed.
Yeah, it's like a jigsaw puzzle. Yeah.
The materials in them are very modern. You know, we don't use blocks, but the materials have changed. The roofs, there's no tiles anymore. There's tiles, but things have they've come on a lot. Like, I'll give you one example. After the Hurricane Katrina there down in America, two lads got together and they got a big factory and they started making homes on an assembly line because everyone lost their homes.
But that would be a lot more common in the United States because most houses, particularly in the southern states in the United States, are all wooden frame houses anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are, but the materials outside the wood.
But I see them when I've been on holidays there. You see these trucks going up and down the motor or the interstates on a regular basis, but half a house on the back of them. You know, and so they bring it in two halves and then just stick it together. Yeah.
They're bringing two halves and slapping them together.
Yeah.
But in Ireland, they have some of them have a lifespan of 100 years.
Yeah.
Now, most of us aren't going to live that long.
True.
If we had if the government had or anyone had the vision to build a big plant. Now, when I worked with a big developer in Ireland, and he built a plant up in Athlone making modular bathrooms for hotels, and there were concrete pods, they call them, and they were basically a bathroom. They were tiled, all the pipes.
Yeah, they just slot them in.
Hotel. Yeah, and slot them in. Same with the modular homes. Like, we're not going to live forever. We just need, like, if they can make them, if they had a big factory that could lash out 20, 30, 40 homes and different designs, like for 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 4-bedrooms, you know, and...
Well, as long as they're safe, that's the main thing, isn't it? As long as they're safe, as long as they're warm.
If they have to meet
standards.
Health and safety
yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, they're not like a mobile home. They're going to be...
I don't know what their energy rating is like. By the way, I'm sure the Green Party would be interested. What?
Because they have the materials. We have the materials and have gone on so far in the last 20 years with carbon and fiberglass and plastics and people don't realise we're not thinking outside the box in Ireland. We think of the old. I was there sitting on a barrel in the 1980s chasing fucking walls and snapping in wires. Look at the people in Donegal. I'm sure the people up in Donegal with the houses
with the pyrite, yeah. Migra, yeah.
In the Celtic Tiger, I was a facilities manager with the co. Some of the people that were building houses shouldn't have been let build a Lego house. They were cowboys. You know? No.
I've seen some of the construction in modern houses is appalling. I've been to houses recently. You know, a friend of mine bought a house recently, and it was a brand new house. You could literally hear his neighbours having a conversation in the room next door.
Yeah,
That's unacceptable in a modern house. You spend 300 or 400 grand on a house, and you can hear your neighbour's telly. You shouldn't be able to hear your neighbour's telly. Those days are long gone. That shouldn't be happening.
No, but if you had the factory that had a design team there, slapping these houses together, everything was the same. You know, the lads that were putting them together were doing the same work every day. They knew what they were at. They were designed properly. I think it's a great idea, and it saves time because we don't have much time, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just like the people. We can't hang around any longer. There's so many people in Ireland now. We're getting people in. We have hundreds of thousands of people sleeping in tents. I have a fellow sleeping in a tent 200 meters from me in my park, and he's there 3 or 4 years. God love him. And he's Galway. He's an Irishman, and he's in his 30s, and he's just taken to sleeping in a tent. Now I don't know why he picks up the tent every morning at 8 o'clock, and he goes off for the day, and he comes back in the evening, and he sets the tent up. But he's been there for years, like.
Well, hang on for a second, because I just want to go to Gemma. Gemma, hi. How are you?
Hi, Niall.
Oh, you're Joe, who was on earlier on. You're his partner.
Yeah, I'm his partner. Yeah.
Okay, so you're the young lady with the children who's been living in temporary accommodation for how long are you there now? Nearly 2 years.
I'm 2.5 years.
That's crazy, isn't it? That mustn't be nice. I'm sure it's not nice.
Yeah. Did you see the picture I sent in of the room?
Okay, I'm going to have a look at my pictures here. Jane will probably show me in a second. Go on, talk away while I'm finding the picture there. Go on.
Yeah, well, basically the conversations about modular homes, and if I think they're good, I think that would be the best option for the time being anyway.
I see it now, yeah. Sorry, I see the picture now, yeah. You wouldn't swing a cat in it, would you?
That's 2.5 years.
Oh, no. That must be so difficult for the kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's so difficult for you, too. You know what I mean? Trying to cook something, trying to, whatever. I don't know. It's How old is your...
But you have to...
How old is your son?
He's just gone 2 since September, and then I have a daughter. She's almost 10 months.
She's almost 10 months.
Daughter,
okay.
well, almost, yeah.
Right. Okay. That's not a good situation, is it? And you'd be
No,
quite.
it's not.
I
I'm
mean,
here 2.5
you'd love a
years.
modular home. I'm sure you would.
I would love a modular home. Now, I've been requesting from Southampton County Council just a bigger room. This is a single person room that I'm in, and I can't even get that. I can't even get a bigger room.
Have they offered you anything, Gemma?
They haven't offered me anything. No, they keep telling me to avail of my app, which I do, but I can't even get a viewing. I got 3 viewings in the whole time that I've been looking.
And when you arrive at the viewing, there's probably a queue of 10,000 people there, is there? Or?
Yeah. Well, no, on 2 of them there was, but on the 3rd one, there was only me and another person, but I still didn't get it.
Right, okay. And why do you think you're not getting it? Is it because the landlords are not taking the app?
I don't know. I don't know, because I work, I have pay slips, I have references, I look after my kids, I look after myself. I don't know what the reason is. Yeah. But I also know that there's people that come in after me that are only on the council list. Some of them are addicts, like active addicts that are going around strung out, drilling on top of their kids. Some of them aren't Irish or after getting into the country, and these are all been housed before me. I'm not racist, but I just don't see how.
I see all your belongings. All your belongings are basically up on top of a bunk bed. Yeah.
No, that's not all my belongings. I have Christmas in my mat. Thank God I have a mat that I can go to. I go there nearly every day just to get out of here.
Oh, you'd want that to drive you mad. Imagine looking at those 4 walls every day. You'd drive you mad.
Yeah, I have to just up, breakfast and gone. Even the kids hate it. The kids hate it here. There's no room for them.
No, sure. The kids need a bit of space. They need to play. They need to run around and.
Yeah.
This is all my son knows. Gemma, I'm so sorry, because I would hate to see anybody living in that sort of situation. That's a terrible situation for anybody to be living in. And I know Joe explained the situation about how far away he is, so it's kind of difficult, And obviously he's going through his own situation.
It's not even how far he is away, it's just how far he is from everything else. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he couldn't walk to the shop or walk to the bus stop or do anything.
Yeah.
From where he lived.
Yeah, I mean, it is shocking. It is shocking.
And then not only that then, right, if I want to stay out, I can only stay out 3 nights a month, because they think that if you're homeless, that you just haven't got family, you haven't got friends, that you just need to be there all the time. So if I stay out if we want to go away, we have to just book around the 3 nights I can stay out.
Right, okay. And tell me, do you have a social life? Or can you have a social life in that situation?
Well, no, if I go to my ma's, I can. When I had the second baby, my daughter, 10 months ago, not that I was struggling, but I mean, a bit of help would have been handy. But no one is allowed in here. Like, only the people that live here can come in here.
And what about? I mean, what about when even Joe comes over? I'm sure Joe comes over to you. I mean,
He
you
can't
don't.
come in here.
He's not allowed in, is he not?
No one's allowed in here. Like unless you're a resident here. But there's people that have 4 kids and one of the kids doesn't live here. One of her oldest kid doesn't live here, but when she has her oldest kid, she has to find somewhere to stay with that oldest kid because her oldest kid's not allowed in here because she's not down as a resident.
Oh, right. Okay. That's a really awkward situation. I'm really sorry to hear you in that situation, Gemma. But the bottom line is, modular home would be wonderful as far as you're concerned. It'd be like a palace to you at this stage.
Oh, I think it'd be magical. Honestly, at this stage, I think a modular home would be magical, and not just for me, for loads of people that just in this accommodation that I'm in alone, I know would jump on the opportunity of a modular home.
And the thing is, when you're in that situation, that kind of trap you're in there now at the moment with the 2 kids, it's very hard to better yourself, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, even with working and all, I have to go up really early, fly down to my ma's, give them the kids. If I had somewhere that I could call my home, my ma could come to me. She hasn't got to get kids ready. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could go back there, my kids would be there instead of coming back getting the kids and then coming back to the hub because I have to be marked in. I can't be marked out.
Stay there for a second, Gemma. Just Kevin, hi, how are you? Kevin, are you there? Well, he's not. He's abandoned us for some reason.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you doing? Sorry.
Yeah, Kevin.
Sorry, I had you on mute there for a moment.
Oh, don't you ever dare put me on mute again, Kevin.
No.
Kevin, you heard Gemma. You can't see the picture. I can see. She's living in this one room with like a bunk bed and a bed. You know what I mean? And the kids' toys everywhere, unfortunately, because there's just nowhere to put anything. She's living in that.
Yeah, look.
With 2 kids, 2 little babies.
Hang on.
Modular home would be wonderful. It'd be a palace to her.
No. You took me wrong. Look, I have my own little man cave here, and I've got teenage daughters. But they have their home and they have it with me. But I'm not disagreeing with modular homes at all. My issue is that with modular homes and the government that we have, right, they're not the greatest, but we could do a lot better. Is that they'll if they did go down this road, they'll go, right, we'll put all this money in and we'll build all these modular homes and we'll give their people their safety, their security of a home, something above their head.
Yeah.
But will they buy the land that their site is on? See, once you put a modular home into a piece of land, it starts to sink, and it's near impossible to move, right? So if they sell, unless they buy the land from the farmers and all that green land that farmers are sitting on, then they're wasting time and money.
Well, they'd have to buy the land. They'd have to buy the land. Now, hold on, they can't be renting the land or anything like that.
Yeah.
They'd have to buy it.
That's the thing. It has to be, the whole thing has to be completed. It's not like the children's hospital, right, where we're just going to build this great new hospital and think about the consequences have a year. How many years is it now?
Yeah, now the only thing I will say, and my only disagreement with modular homes is we're letting the government off the hook a little bit. Because they do have a responsibility. I mean, Gemma should be getting a house, not a modular home, and so should Eileen. Yeah. But so we are kind of letting them off the hook a little bit.
But right now, they wore people down so far that...
Well, they're worn. I can see they've worn Gemma down, that's for sure. And Eileen, who's living in a barn.
Yeah, no, if they were to come up to my door and say, Gemma, we have a bigger room, I'd be over the moon.
Sorry, Gemma?
If they were to just even offer me the bigger room, I'd be happier. It's the size, even the size of the room. It's like 4 footsteps to the bed to out the door.
Kevin, imagine living in a room with your 2 kids, 4 footsteps from the bed, and you're out the front door. You know what I mean?
Hang on. No,
yeah.
I live in a man cave.
And we're falling over
I
each
live
other.
Hang on. I live in what I call my man cave. It's built for one. And I have my doors here, right? So
yeah, but now, with the greatest respect, Kevin, that's a circumstance. You know what I mean? You have an ex-partner. You have an ex-partner, haven't you?
They have a home.
Yeah, they have a home. They have a home. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the government don't really. We shouldn't really have a responsibility to provide you with another home just so you can have them over at the weekend. I've
never put my name. I've never.
No, I know. I'm just saying. I don't know. I had a lad on the air last year, and his missus was getting a house from social, and him and his missus split up, and he wanted a house in the social as well, a 3-bed house for his kids. And I said, look, hold on, the government's not responsible for your marriage breakup, pal. You know what I mean? You can't be giving you 2 houses.
And do you know what, Niall? I couldn't even get another mortgage if I wanted one. I had the money. Do you know why? Because my name's already on the mortgage.
Yeah.
You cannot. So So like that's my fault. That's my life. That's
Yeah.
my circumstances.
Yeah.
I've never once put my name down.
Been there, bought the T-shirt, yeah.
Do
Okay.
it.
But what I'm saying is, Gemma's not in that situation. Gemma's a mother with 2 children,
Yeah,
two babies essentially, and she's living in
Yeah, and
this. Sorry, Gemma, it's a kip. And I no disrespect to you, Gemma, because you have it's a one room that you've kept as well as you can. You know.
If I had have kept if I had been offered the house that the girl was saying that she got offered some ex-drug house, I'd have taken it. Gladly have taken it.
Would
Lock
you?
on the door. That's my house. Yeah, no problem. I'll live anywhere but a room. Well, I mean, obviously I live in the room. I'm living in it now, but I mean, I just can't wait to get out anywhere.
Well, I did say that to Eileen that okay, it wasn't the ideal thing to be offered in a bad area. She didn't like the area, but she said she didn't want to live in that area.
But did you not get
Well, I
three
think that's a
chances,
bit-
3 choices?
Sorry, Eileen, are you still there?
I am still here.
Yeah. I mean, Gemma said she would have been
Yes.
quite happy in taking that house and just locked the door.
Yeah, well, I can't do that. My kids have there's too many problems already inside the house. I don't need any outside the house. You know, worrying about my children's safety. I couldn't cope with that again. already been in
Oh
that
no, don't get me
situation.
wrong. I'm very worried about my kids' safety
Yeah.
as well, but it's still a lot better than living
Yeah.
in a hostel, whatever I'm living in.
Yeah. Well, I've been in your situation too, Gemma, so I know like what you're going through, and it's awful. You know, and I hope that you get somewhere soon. I really do. It's not fair. It's
Well,
not
look,
fair.
I hope you both do, Gemma, as well. I hope you get out of that place, Gemma. That looks absolutely awful. And it's not good for your mental health. It couldn't be good for your mental health.
Or it's not even that right.
It's driving
For
you
one
mad.
person, it is a grand room. It's my kids. It's the kids that's affecting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I understand the situation. The kids don't. They're 2 and 10 months. So
Yeah. But
they
I mean,
haven't got-
Gemma, can you imagine, by the way, there's people out there,
There's loads of space.
people in your situation out there, right? And they've older kids who are 8 and 9 who need a bit more space, even, right? Imagine what it's even like for them, and they're in that situation too. It's dreadful. You know?
To be honest, where I live, I live in South Dublin, like kind of in Tala Village, right? And there's girls here that are like 34, and they have 14, 15, 16-year-olds. There's girls here that are living with their moms, and they're after getting pregnant, so they're waiting to get a room. There's older kids here with their parents.
Yeah.
I understand that as well. Yeah, I could be a lot worse off, but I'm the only person that's here 2.5 years.
Well, I hope you get something soon, Gemma. Eileen, I hope you get sorted out. Kevin, thanks for that as well. I got to take a break. And Gemma and Joe, I wish you well, both of you. I know Joe's going through a tough time there too with his separation, his divorce and everything else. We've got to take a quick break. The number, as usual, is 087 188 0008. That's 087 188 0008. After the break, by the way, I think we've got another caller or two on that. And we have one more on that, haven't we, Ally? And I do want to move to talk. I want to talk about learner drivers. Should we kind of backtrack on the legislation that we enhanced about 4 years ago, demanding that learner drivers have a qualified driver sitting in the seat beside them? People believe we should. Let me know what you think. That was called the Clancy Amendment, as far as I remember. The number is 087 188 0008. Do you believe learner drivers should have to have a qualified driver sitting beside them? There's a part of me says yes. There's another part of me saying, what difference is it going to make? So I crashed with a qualified driver beside me. Like, he's hardly going to put his foot over and reach on to touch the brake, is he? She. Whatever. Somebody, by the way, said they were in the building industry, and what do they say here? A modular house is a house now. We said modular homes are as good as or better than most homes in Ireland. Niall said beggars can't be choosers. Well, with modern modular homes or material and designs, modular homes are as good or better than most and have a life of at least 100 years. It's just we're afraid to change. Yeah, you're probably right. We're kind of, when I'm in America, I see it a lot. A lot of people are in modular homes. They're basically they're wood frame houses that are pre-built in a factory somewhere and then brought to a site. Sorry, let me go to Darren. Darren, hi, how are you?
Even Niall.
Good. Darren, I was talking to Kevin there before the break. He doesn't really have an issue with it, but he does believe maybe we're letting the government off the hook a little bit here.
The modular homes.
Yeah.
Well, now I live in a log cabin, and there hasn't been really much. There was a lot of talk about log cabins, 5 years ago?
Oh, yeah, that was mentioned about 5 years ago, wasn't it? They were going to build log cabins for
and
everybody.
now it's all about modular homes.
Right, okay. And who built your log cabin?
So my point was, I got it off like a well-established company, like in Dublin, all over the country.
Yeah. And is it big?
But It's a 2-bed. It's like 40 foot by 22 foot.
Okay, and how is it? How do you like living in it?
Oh, it's glorious. Like I have a stove in it as well. Like, but like, the point is, if the council got wind of where I am and what's up, like they don't want me to take this down.
Why? No planning?
Because I didn't get planning permission.
Okay, all right, okay. I'm assuming you're out somebody's back garden then, are you?
Yeah.
It's in my own fields in the country, yeah.
Right, okay. And
It's not in an estate around, like it's in the countryside.
See, this is what I can't understand from the council when it comes to planning. If you're in your own field in the middle of nowhere and you're building a log cabin, what's the big deal?
I'm literally causing I'm not. I never got an off the government. I paid for myself, done everything.
Yeah.
See, they want people living in towns and cities. That's the whole point of this. They don't want to, like, no one can get planning permission out here unless you're from the area.
Oh, that's right. That's the same in a lot of places now. You have to have been originally from the area to get planning permission to build in the area.
And I mean like as in like within a kilometre of the site you want to get.
Mm.
And you have to have grown up here as well and have parents here. Like it's
Yeah.
like I'm not adding to the housing list or any of that shit. Like I'm literally just have my own spot. I'm not causing any harm to the government. But yes, if they had their way, I wouldn't be here.
And see, Kevin, I do understand the reason for planning permission. You can't just have a free-for-all where people are building wherever they want to build. But there should be exemptions made when you have a situation where somebody just wants to put a log cabin on his own piece of land.
You're talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, of course, yeah. Like, that makes no sense. I have heard this conversation before, I think, where, like, you kind of got, okay, the son and the girlfriend can't afford a place rent, so they set up a caravan or something out the back garden, a huge big back garden of their own house, and the council come along and said, no, get rid of it. It's happened. You'll have probably many stories of people who've gone through that because either the neighbours have complained or it doesn't come in with some height regulation. But like, yeah, no, like if this guy's got his own field, his own land, what business of it is the council to basically, how dare they come along and say, no, you can't have that. If he's got the rights to that land and the deeds to go with it, then yeah, give him the middle finger. But unfortunately, the bureaucracy is what it is.
Now, if you're living, now don't get me wrong, if you're living in a city and you build a log cabin out your back garden and you've got neighbours, I understand them. Well,
Yeah.
you must,
Fair enough, yeah.
you must have planning permission because your neighbour might want to look at an ugly caravan out the back garden. You know what I mean? So I get that, but he's not bothered. Is there anybody overlooking it, or can anybody else see it, Darren, apart from you?
You can't see it from the road, but like I have a neighbour, literally right across the hedge from me, in Yard, and he has a 3-bed log cabin, and he's there maybe 4 years.
Right, so he's doing the same thing as you, anyway.
The road. Yeah, like we're saving on the government. We're saving. Like, not that I'd go on the housing anyways, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not taking anything from the state. And with the log cabin, by the way, that you're in, like, so what's the heat like? What's it like in the winter? Is it warm?
Or the water?
I have a stove in the living area, and then I have, like, the little electric rads in each room.
Right, okay.
And once you have the stove on for an hour, like, that heats the whole place. There's a little water heater in one of the rooms that connects to all the plumbing. And you just turn it on, and it heats up the water. And then the shower and all, I have water coming from the home house.
Right, okay.
On the ground, like it's about 100 feet away from the home house.
And whose home house is that? Is that your parents'?
My mum's.
Yeah, okay.
Right, yeah.
So you're sharing utilities. Yeah, you're sharing utilities.
So you don't own the land, it's your folks do. And
no, I own. I own the land.
Right, okay.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't make a difference even if you own land because they can still take it off you.
Really?
They can demand to take it down.
That confused me.
Well, they can come out and they can come out and if they do come out and see it, you can apply for what they call they can apply for retention, but you're not going to get it. Yeah, you won't get it.
No.
You'll be told to take it down.
The thing that you need planning permission for, the actual thing that you actually need planning for is the septic tank.
Oh, right, okay.
And see, I have my own septic tank. I did my own, so you need plans for that. But you see, if the council are out with the drones, I just have like astroturf over the lid of the septic tank, so it just looks like it blends in with the rest of the lawn.
Oh, very good. And do the council send drones out? Do the council send?
Oh, yes, they do.
Do they?
Yes, they do. And did I hear this new thing now about all the fires? You're not allowed to light fires now from November 1st at all. Not even bushes, no nothing.
Oh, you can't. Yeah, you can't. You can't. Yeah, you're not even allowed.
Satellite.
You know those little bins with a little chimney on it that you can burn papers out the back garden or documents.
No,
with.
you're not even allowed that.
You're not allowed to do that anymore. No. I was going to do that recently with a load of stuff I had from years ago. I was told you can't do that. You can't do that. I go, okay. But they sell the bins in Woodies. Why can't I do it? You know?
You shouldn't be burning paper anyway.
My dad used to have a bonfire out the back garden at least 3 times a year. I don't know you lads remember this. And everything went on it. And I mean everything went on it.
And these bonfires ourselves back in the day, right?
Yeah, I mean, you rarely put even out rubbish for the bin men in those days because all the household rubbish just got thrown in the fire in the front room. We kind of it was kind of recycling, really, when you think about it, wasn't it?
Here's a classic Irish one for you. I had to get rid of a stack load of paper when basically Mum passed away and shredded a whole lot. Now, because I rent and I shared the bins, I couldn't. So basically, I had bags of these shredded paper, and I couldn't get rid of it. And in Dublin, you can buy the packs of plastic bags. So you can get the domestic ones and the paper ones. But in where I am, just not far. I'm out in the county, but not far from Dublin, and they don't sell them because everybody has plastic bins. You cannot buy them. Greyhounds and the other crowds don't sell them. Outside of Dublin, outside of cities. Limerick, Cork, Dublin, you can buy them. Can't buy them where I am. Can't buy them in any county.
So what did you do with your papers? So what did you do with the paper?
Because the reason is, I had to go to a skip. I had to wait for weeks and actually just dump it into.
I have a hang up about putting private stuff, even though it might be shredded. I have a bit of a hang up about putting it in bins or waste centres or anything like that.
Yeah, I know, but I
don't want people looking through me stuff. You know what I mean?
I know. That's a bit conspiracy.
It's a bit I know there's a bit of paranoia involved in that, isn't there?
Yeah, it's right. But the reason they're allowed those plastic bins are allowed in cities is because you got thatched houses.
Yeah.
Outside of Dublin, most people have like the garden, front garden, blah blah blah. So they all have plastic bins. So you put one of those plastic bags outside of Dublin, they won't pick it up.
No, they won't take it.
Even though it's their company on the logo and their truck ignoring the fact that it's there.
Actually, they won't even pick it up if your bin is slightly open.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, but I'm just talking about those bags.
Where I am, right? Where I am, they're a bit mad. They examine your bin. And you get a note, like a warning note on the bin. Like if they notice in your normal bin, you might have some papers. You know your normal black bin, right? If they notice that you, for the normal refuge, if they notice that you've recyclables in that, like a tin or a bottle or a plastic bag, you get a warning. A sticker put on your bin.
And then you get 2 or get 3 and there's an extra charge on top of it. What do you think the service charge is?
But sometimes you just make a mistake. Like, what's the biggie, like? You know what I mean?
Yeah, look, I did an article. Yeah, I know. I didn't look. That's how. Look, that's why there's a microchip at the end of every bin. Look, I did an article on it, and it was like kind of it works out. I know.
I don't know how. Now, when I see the sticker on the bin every now and again, it's rare. Thankfully, it doesn't happen too often, right? But I'm wondering because it's a machine. You know, the machine picks it up and flings it into the bin, right? Are they rooting through me bin?
I don't know who'd be bothered. But I do know there is a microchip at the end of each bin. That's how it knows how to calculate a record of everything. But I don't know if anybody actually it's Ireland. But then again, you don't know. Some jobs worth kind of going along once in a while.
Yeah, open them and have a look. Yeah. Oh, there's a bottle. There, give them a sticker quick.
That's all it takes. Someone would kind of think there's something or not in the job. And,
Real people, real opinions, real talk radio. The multi-award winning Niall Boylan Show.
Ireland's classic hits.